Can the police bug your house and monitor your phone calls and texts? Welcome to another episode of Titan PI TV, where we're looking at the inside workings of a live operation investigation agency, that being here, Titan in Derby. Welcome and happy Friday, although it's a little bit different weather-wise to last week. But yes, I am Simon Henson. Welcome. I am the Managing Director of Titan Private Investigation Limited and also your host on Titan PI TV. Don't forget, if you prefer to listen to podcasts, you can download Titan PI TV podcast wherever you download your podcasts. So as I alluded to, this short episode today is looking at, can the police bug your house and can they monitor your phone calls and texts? The answer is yes. So in England and Wales, where the law abides here, this would be covered by the RIPA Act, or the Regulation of Investigatory Powers Act 2000, although I will refer to it as RIPA because it is a bit of a tongue twister. So if the police want to listen to your mobile phone calls or intercept your texts, then this is part one of the RIPA Act, and this has to be authorised by the Secretary of State, so very high up to be able to get this authority. And they will only be able to do it if they suspect that you're involved in serious crime or you pose a threat to national security, such as counter-terror. The same applies for if the police want to bug your house. So this is part two. It's intrusive surveillance, once again authorised by the Secretary of State, and you have to be involved or suspected to be involved in serious crime or a threat to national security. So now I'm going to share an example of where this was used in a case when I was in the police. So the example I'm going to share with you was a few years ago now. It was whilst I was serving in the police as a detective sergeant, and we were investigating or gaining the evidence through surveillance for a number of suspects who we believed were involved in a spate of cash-in-transit robberies. Their MO for this was they would watch the cash-in-transit delivery in progress. They would then approach balaclavaed up, and they would then use a viable firearm to shoot the guard or one of the guards and then take away a number of boxes of cash which had anything from £40,000 to £60,000 in each one. So we used part one and part two. We had bugs in the houses of the individuals who we suspected of this serious crime. We also were able to monitor their phones through part one of RIPA, and we were able to listen to live intelligence or gain live intelligence from the phone lines to be able to then make decisions on the ground and when we would then close up to get the evidence. So we gained intelligence from both the bug device, which was in the property, and also through monitoring texts and telephone calls, that the group that we suspected of being involved in these cash-in-transit deliveries had stolen a car, and it was in false plates in garages, council garages. So we went out in the early hours of the morning, about 2 o'clock in the morning, with a locksmith. We had an endoscope, so we were able to put the endoscope into the garages to see what vehicles were in there. And lo and behold, we did find a Mini, which was the intelligence of the vehicle which had been stolen, and the plates didn't match up to that particular vehicle. So we then used the locksmith. At this point, we had to be armed because of who we were dealing with. So we, once we found the vehicle, we then performed the armed cordon around the locksmith, just in case that they came to recover the vehicle. And the locksmith broke into the vehicle, and then we were able to put a tracking device. This is also intrusive surveillance part two. We all went back, dekitted, weapons back into the armoury. And we then had cups of tea and medals, and then we went home. So we finished about 4 o'clock in the morning. 9 o'clock the following morning, the tracker is pinging. The stolen vehicle is on the move. So all of our phones are going off. The whole team go in. We go to the armoury. We get tooled up with the Walther P90 pistol, H&K rifle, MP5, and then the less lethal, such as the baton round, taser, and incapacitant spray. We then get a surveillance around the vehicle using the technical, and we're able to locate the vehicle. We follow it round the city where we're working, and then lo and behold, it parks up in a pub car park opposite a NatWest bank, which has, as we speak, cash in transit being delivered outside. Then all of a sudden, the occupants of the car, of which there was two, put the balaclavas down, and at this point we're going to have to take executive action. However, the Gold Commander, who would have been the Chief Constable, didn't want to have a shootout in the middle of the day, well, early morning should it be, in the city. So the decision was made by the Gold Commander to put a vehicle through, a traffic car through the plot, past the cash in transit delivery on Blues and Twos, and hopefully that'd be enough to spook them. It did spook them. The cash in transit robbery didn't happen, and then we had the job of covertly following them away. We followed them away, and then we had to do a hard stop. So we ran the front head on, airbags all going off, and then we got a vehicle at the rear and the two sides, and then it's an armed stop. Arrested, once again, tier medals. So that is an example of where, when you use RIPA, the Regulation of Investigatory Powers Act, Part 1 and Part 2, you are able to listen to what's happening in a house or what's happening on telephone lines. Hope you've enjoyed that. Please give us a thumbs up. If you don't want to miss further episodes, please subscribe to the channel. It's free. Till next time, thank you for listening. Stay safe.